Hi, Jess.
Yeah, hi David. Good morning.
Morning to
First,
you. Good
any
morning
injuries
here.
or sickness to update us on?
Sorry, I missed your question. I was talking away there.
Sorry, any injuries or sickness to update us on?
No, at the moment we seem okay. We've still got Arthur waiting and Arthur Mazawaku coming back. Malenko's still got a medial ligament injury. Ryan Fredericks has picked up a little bit of a groin strain, which is not serious, but he's touch and go, so we'll need to see how he is today after training.
I'd like to talk about the impact that Jesse Lingard is having. Another goal for him against Tottenham. That's 3 and 4. What's he been like to coach, and what kind of influence has he had in the dressing room?
Well, we're really pleased to have him because he's given us another dimension, especially in our attacking play. He's given us better competition in those areas as well. But he's given us a bit of quality, which I always thought we were going to need something else going into the sort of second half of the season, which could do something to help us. And it's not that easy to get players in January who can make a difference. And Jesse's come in and had an impact with his goals and his performances.
Looking ahead to City, David, how much do you feel this is a chance for you as a club to prove that you can challenge the bigger teams above you, and that, you know, being in the top 4 is something that you can maintain?
Well, I think you're talking about challenging Manchester City. You're talking about challenging arguably the top team in the world, maybe number 2, number 3 in the world, somewhere in that position. So that's a big ask for any team. It's a big ask for West Ham, but we've tried to take on the challenges what have been put in front of us this year. Some occasions we've done well, other occasions not so good, but we'll try and take Man City on in some way and try and cause them difficulties. But you need to be sort of football stupid not to understand the quality of what Man City have got and how they're playing at this present time.
And how much do you enjoy personally, David, going up against someone like Pep Guardiola, who's, you know, proven himself to be one of the great managers?
Well, he certainly makes you think, and he gives you problems to try and solve because of the quality of his players and his team. I heard him saying the other day about, they've got the money to spend and buy the top players and try and get the top players, which is always a big help. So that gives you a big advantage. But undoubtedly, he's a manager who, has his own style, improves players, and has exciting, good football teams, which is great credit to him.
Any word on Mikel Antonio playing very well at the moment? Has he spoken to you possibly about switching to play for Jamaica? And if so, would you support that?
I only heard about it yesterday afternoon. I've not had a direct conversation with Mick about it yet. I'm still holding out that Mick will continue to play for England and may have a chance of getting selected. If he scored lots of goals, then that might be an opportunity. But if he chose to go with Jamaica, I'd certainly not say no to that. That would be his decision. But I've not really had an opportunity to have a conversation with him.
And just finally, David, there's talks perhaps of fans coming back for the final game of the season. What impact could that have on your players and possibly the result?
Well, the good news to get fans back in the stadiums would be fantastic. I'm a little bit uneasy about them coming back for the last game of the season because it would be an advantage to one team and not the other to have them. I think if the government in the Premier League could see fit to do it 1 week earlier in some way, which I'm sure it won't be the case, but it would have meant that both teams, a home and you could have your home and away game in the last game of the season where everybody got the crowds back. So we used the word integrity in many, many times in different periods of this this COVID time. Can't get the words out this morning, and I have to say that I'd be really worried about one club getting an advantage in the last game of the season. So I think it's something that needs to be considered. But getting the supporters back is great. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Jess. Katie?
Morning, David. Nice to see you.
Hi there, Katie.
Just looking back at the Spurs game in reflection to look ahead, the second half of that game saw your men have to really dig that bit deeper to protect the result. Do you think that performance provided the team a level of insight as to what's to come in these following rounds and how they're going to have to fight to come out unscathed?
Well, I think the round of games we've got at the moment, we're up against some of the best teams in the league at the moment, and we've got some tough games. It was a bit like at the start of the season, we're in that round of games at the moment. But, you know, we had to do it then and we'll have to do it now. There's no way we're going to always be the best team, and there's no way that there's not going to be periods we have to suffer a bit when we don't have the ball. So when we've not got it, we've got to make sure that we're good without it. And I thought we've done a really good job against Tottenham. It was an important 3 points for us, and keeps us moving on.
That result as well marked your first ever win over Jose Mourinho in all competitions, your 16th attempt. Did that triumph have any extra meaning to you and give you any little boost?
No, not any more than just seeing West Ham get themselves closer to the top of the league and us trying to hang in there. And it was, I mean, the big thing about it was a derby game, and it was really important for the supporters that they saw that we could get results, and it was a good result for us. That was the big thing. But what I do see, Katie, is I see that we need to improve our performances. I think there's things in our game that we need to work hard at trying to get better at. There's lots of bits we can improve on, and that's what gives me hope that even for the future, that if we can try to keep working on them, then we can continue to improve.
Tomorrow against City, it marks obviously the 40th meeting between the clubs. 9 wins, 7 draws for the Hammers, but your personal record against the club is 13 wins, 5 draws, 14 defeats. What added insight, therefore, do you bring in facing a club of this calibre at such a crucial stage of the season for your boys?
Well, I think everybody knows the quality of Manchester City. We're seeing it week in, week out at the moment. Pep's got a full squad. He can pick whoever he likes. He can chop and change. Obviously, they've got a really difficult schedule because of the amount of games they've got. So I do think that we have to try and make the most of it. We're slightly different. We don't have European games. I hope we do in the future, but we don't at the moment. But we have to try and make the most of having a chance for us to prepare for the games, be as good as we can be, and go into it in a positive mind frame. We've tried to play well against all the teams. As I said earlier, we've not always got results, but we're trying to put up a game and do the best we can.
The final question from me, you've kind of touched a bit on it there. We know how comfortably they're sat, 10 points clear and not many significant weaknesses. Would perhaps walking away with a clean sheet alone tomorrow make it a successful trip?
Well, I think if you want me to shake hands with you, Katie, on a clean sheet just now, I could happily do that now, and maybe that might mean that we might nick a goal as well, or get a goal from it as well. I think any teams who go to Manchester City, the word clean sheet is the first thing if you can do it, because their attacking ability, the players they've got, their interchange of positions, the amount of times that they get in and around your box makes it a really difficult thing to do, Katie. So if we could get a clean sheet, I would be more than thrilled with that, I've got to tell you.
Thanks, Katie. Ian?
Hi, David. How are you?
How you doing, Ian?
The first part of the season, no one talks about qualifying for Europe. After Christmas, there's too many games for managers to consider it. But West Ham fans getting excited now. How are you going to manage expectations ahead of taking on a team that have won the last 20 games? That manage expectations that West Ham are going to get into the Champions League?
Well, I think we're going to try and keep going, take a game at a time, small different goals and what we maybe set ourselves at the start of the season. So we've got ourselves in a really good position. We're not going to be relegated this season. We're not going to be getting talked about as a relegation side. We're now getting talked about as a European side in some way, which is a remarkable turnaround from where we've been. So I'm enjoying that. But we want to try and hang in there. West Ham supporters will have big expectations, but their expectations over recent years, Ian, has been pretty low, hasn't it? So let's be fair. This is now something that we should be enjoying, praising the players for their efforts, praising the club for the way they've gone about their business and what they've done. So I think at this moment in time, it's a good period for West Ham and West Ham supporters.
Some see it as a game between the two candidates for manager of the season.
Well, there's only one candidate, and that's Pep, because he's top of the league. I think this Man City look as if they've got the best chance this year of winning the Champions League. Of course, you're going to talk about Bayern Munich and PSG as well, and one or two other clubs, but I think this will give them their best chance ever of winning the Champions League. I think you need to be not quite sure what I'm going to say here, but not to think that Man City are not going to win the league. I think everybody's sure that they're going to win the league. So Pep's having an outstanding season. He's in a cup final already as well. he's got a chance to go for another one. He is doing an unbelievable job from a team which last year didn't do as well as what people expected. So he's done a brilliant job, Pep.
I'm interested in what you say about fans coming back for the final game of the season and the integrity, because I think the Premier League have yet to rule on whether they'll have the fans back for that very reason. Do you see it more importantly that we have full stadiums for next August rather than 10,000 for the final game of the season?
Yeah, I think if you could guarantee that, excuse me, I think if you could guarantee that, I think we would all say, yeah, no problem, get rid of the 10,000, we'll wait till next season and get everybody back. I don't know if there is any guarantees on that as far as we know yet, but I think that everybody's hoping that we're going to have full stadiums back next year. That would be, we're ready for it. And we're actually watching quite a lot of sports from other countries at the moment. We're watching a bit of the cricket, and you're seeing the amount of supporters there is in the stadiums in India, for example, you know, and I know they've trialled it in Australia with some groups and going back in. So I'm hoping we can get to bigger numbers than 10,000, Ian, but you know, I think we've just got to follow government guidelines. But going back to the question was to say is, I think the integrity of the game would just be to say, make sure that we don't, you know, there isn't something where people could say this is an unfair advantage to one team or the other if we're only talking about one game of the season.
And final one from me. I was very worried this week by the sacking of Neil Lennon, because straight away your name is linked with the Celtic job. Now, what's happening with your new contract, David? I mean, are you staying next season? There's no point West Ham finishing top 4 if you're not there.
Yeah, I've got no intentions of going anywhere. I've already spoke with David Sullivan. We're sort of up to date. We're quietly ticking things along. The truth is, I don't want anything to get in the way of what we're doing just now. So I'm not going to be coming out and saying I'm signing a big contract or I'm doing anything else just now in any way might change things around. I just really want to go about the job and try to be professional. And nowadays, you know, having a contract's important, but it's not that important, I don't think, in football management, because it chops and changes so quickly. So, but I'm really happy here. I enjoy the people I work with. I think there's been great improvements on and off the field here at West Ham, and I'm hoping to continue making them better, and hopefully we can start to sustain a level of league position where we're in at the moment. Can't guarantee it, and I'm not going to promise it, which I said at the start, but let's hope we can.
Thanks, Ian. Cameras off, please. Duncan, do you want to start the written for us? Thank you.
Hi, Duncan.